Last time on Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice.
No, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you need to leave this.
Wow, Judge!
And
now back to Apollo Justice 2. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. Last time we left off, we started the trial for the final episode of this game, well, the DLC case. And now we are going to finish off the game with the final trial segment. We're finally ending my long Ace Attorney journey until Ace Attorney 7, and probably I'm going to play Great Ace Attorney when that gets translated, so it's not the end, but it's sort of the end for a bit. But yeah, I'm honestly, the thing I'm most excited about this episode is to just finally be able to say my opinion, because I'm like, I've been holding in, and I'm like, I want to say when, but I'm like, no, I should just play the DLC case, and then I'll be good. Now I'll have to face Pierce on the stand. I'm not sure if I should be surprised or not. One thing's for sure, he won't be an easy adversary.
So, do you think Pierce did it?
It's too early to say anything at this point, but I do think he's still hiding something.
Nick, why did you put everything on Soren and Loser back there?
Looks like Larry still hasn't given up on Ellen.
This Pierce guy's the real bad guy. Then Soren and my Ellie will live happily ever after together.
Larry, that's not the kind of thing a decent human being says.
Shame on you, Larry.
Oh, you think I don't know? You know I have to give up on my Ellie. But Nick, promise you'll make her happy. She deserves that happily ever after.
I'm sure Soren will make her happy once all this is said and done.
The trial's about to be resumed, Mr. Wright.
Thanks, Phantom. Alright, ready, Maya? I wish I had made that a running joke at the beginning of this game.
Yep, let's go.
I'm rooting for you, Nick.
I'll be rooting for you too, Mr. Wright. Even though I exposed your identity? Yeah, well, who cares? International spy no more. Now I am just a simple bailiff, and a police officer, and a news anchor. I'm basically everything. I'm everything I want to be. And I'm everything you want to be. Whoa, fourth wall.
Court's now back in session.
I'm even the judge.
Witness, please take the stand.
Oh my demon god, who could it possibly be? It's Pierce Nickety. Who would have guessed? I forgot his last name.
Please state your name and occupation.
My name is Pierce Nickety. I'm the Sprocket family butler.
Let's get straight to the point, Mr. Nickety. Someone tore out a page from Mr. Sprocket's notebook to manipulate his memories. Slam my desk. And that person was you, wasn't it?
That is correct. What about it?
Well, that was easy. So why did you do it? Why did you tamper with Mr. Sprocket's notebook?
Please allow me to explain. It pains me to do this, but I will tell you the truth.
It pains you.
That is correct. But my testimony will go against Master Soren's wishes.
Soren's wishes? What is he talking about? He's making stuff up on the fly because he realizes he's about to get caught. Why tore the page?
I rushed to the Vista deck, but the crime had already been committed. I saw Miss Ellen in Gloomsbury collapsed and Master Soren writing in his notebook. Master Soren said to me, I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen. But I went against his order and tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body. Ooh, my voice is already dead 3 minutes into this.
How demon dare you? Wait a doodle second! What Mr. Sprocket was writing in his notebook at the time, could it be... It was meant to be a confession, an admission he'd killed Gloomsbury himself. He wrote that message to take the blame for Miss what?
That's correct. Master Soren did hit Gloomsbury with the timekeeper to save Miss Ellen.
Then Mr. Sprocket was the culprit after all.
However, that blow did not kill Gloomsbury. That makes sense. Mr. Sprocket's injury wouldn't allow him to put much force into it. In a rage, Gloomsbury tried to attack Master Soren, who was already seriously wounded. But just in the nick of time, Miss Ellen hit Gloomsbury from behind and finished him off, it would seem. So the one who inflicted the fatal blow was the defendant? Yes, that is correct. but Master Soren tried to take all the blame onto himself.
No way. This is pretty bad, Nick.
No kidding. Pretty bad is an understatement. Pretty odd.
Well, Mr. Wright, seems your decision to call Mr. Nickety has backfired. For the true culprit behind this case remains the defendant, Eleanor Watt.
Could this get any worse? But Pierce was involved in the cover-up plot, and I bet he still has something to hide. I bet. Cross-exam-a-doodle noodle. Why I tore out thy page. Why I tore out your page. My page tearing academia. My little tearing academia. What is English? I don't know what that language is. Mr. Nickety, could you please tell this court about that in more detail?
That, you say? Which part do you mean, Mr. Wright? Could you be more specific?
Oh, alright. What part do I want to know more about? More about hiding the body. Please tell me more about the hiding of the body.
Very well. After saying he would take the blame, Master Soren passed out. That's when I hid the body. I quickly took the lift down to the hold, where I hid Gloomsbury's still warm body in the spare peg over the lantern.
So it was you who hid the body, not the defendant.
To think Mr. Butts would move the lantern containing the body to the reception hall. Well, I did not see that coming.
I don't blame you. Not even Larry can predict what Larry will do next. Maybe I should take another look at the lantern and evidence.
Mr. Wright, would you like that statement to be added to the witness's testimony?
Shake my head. Yes, please.
Very well. Please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Nickety. Oh, you people are picky, aren't you?
Oh God, I forgot my life carries over. Alright, well, I know what it is anyways. Objection! Could it be? Is that what happened? If what I'm thinking is true, then maybe I can prove neither Ellen nor Soren did the deed. Mr. Nickety, you said the body was still warm when you hid it, correct? So then, what if Mr. Gloomsbury was still alive when you went to put his body inside the lantern? What? What?
That's preposterous.
Is it? Actually, this shows that the victim might have still been alive while inside the lantern.
I'm afraid you'll have to point out which part you're talking about, Mr. Wright.
This part here shows that the victim might have still been alive inside the lantern.
If it isn't the steering wheel, then I have no idea, so I'm just gonna...
Okay, good. As you can see, the back end of the lantern is a door. And there's blood here on the wheel handle. Objection!
That blood stain must have gotten there when the witness put the body inside the lantern.
It in no way shows that the victim drew his last breath while he was within the lantern. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth, for you see, in putting this lantern back together, the police inadvertently placed the inside handle on the outside, and vice versa. Slam my desk! In other words, the wheel handles got swapped.
Oh my, so they got swapped?
Yes, they got swapped!
They got swapped? What? Well, that's ridiculous.
Not at all. If you compare the other male peggable lantern to the reception hall. Oh my god. It's quite obvious the wheel handles were attached backwards.
The detective in charge of the restoration will see me in my office later.
Sorry, Emma, and good luck.
In that case, what does the bloodstain on the wheel handle mean?
The bloodstain didn't get there by chance. When the victim was put inside the lantern, he was only unconscious, not dead. When he regained consciousness, he probably tried to get out of the lantern, so he grasped the inner wheel handle, and that's when the blood got on it. This proves that the victim was still alive when he was inside the lantern.
Does it now? At the time, I was completely convinced Gloomsbury was dead. Had I checked more carefully, he might have survived. Unfortunate to be sure, but not significant enough to change this trial's outcome.
Shake my head at you. Again, I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. It actually has a very significant impact on this case.
The victim was struck by the defendant, then died from his injuries sometime later. There's nothing more to it.
Objection. That's where you're wrong. Let's take another look at Mr. Gloomsbury's autopsy report, shall we? Please focus on the description of his injuries. It says, one contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side. Yes, the one Mr. Sprocket gave him and the one Miss Watt delivered to finish him off. Shake my head at you. No, the defense would like to submit a different interpretation. A different interpretation? The victim was knocked unconscious by the first blow and was then put into the lantern. Then, what about the lethal blow by the defendant the witness talked about? Yes, well, that didn't happen. After some time, when the victim regained consciousness and tried to get out of the lantern, that's when he received the second blow that finished him off. Taking into account the fact that the victim was alive for a period after the first hit, and that he did receive a second blow on the head, it does seem entirely possible. Yes, as long as the first blow didn't kill the victim instantly, then there's a possibility that someone other than Mr. Sprocket or Miss Watt delivered the final blow. Objection. Huh, that's all you've got? Even if there was a time lag between the two blows, the prosecution's position doesn't change. What? What do you mean? It's elementary, Mr. Wright. Oh, don't Sherlock Holmes me, Edgeworth. After the reception, when the defendant was cleaning up the reception hall, the victim, who was supposed to be dead, suddenly came out of the lantern. The defendant grabbed the murder weapon, which was right there, and finished him off. That theory sounds awfully familiar. Of course it does, Your Honor, because that's exactly what I proposed at the very start. Slam my desk. The second blow was inflicted by the defendant after all. I see. Seems the tangle of mystery has been unraveled into a single thread. Objection! But as long as there's a possibility that the fatal blow is delivered by a third person, then we must continue the deliberations. Keep it up, Mr. Wright. Unless you have something to prove the presence of your precious third person.
Okay, Nick. Just relax. You can do this. Come on now. Take some deep breaths.
Good idea. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
There. Don't you feel better already?
Molly's right. I should calm down, get my focus back, and go over everything again. And then hopefully I'll be able to find something to prove there was a third person. Let's see. Okay, first, why did Gloomsbury attack Ellen?
Because he was tired of taking the blame for the accident?
But something about that line of reasoning just doesn't feel quite right to me.
No? How come?
Well, if it's just a personal vendetta, he had already stabbed Soren. So why then was he so determined to go after Ellen?
You're right. This whole thing feels too premeditated for a crime of passion.
But Gloomsbury didn't seem to have a personal grudge against Ellen. If Gloomsbury didn't have a personal reason to attack Ellen, then... Slam my desk! You've taken long enough, Mr. Wright. Now it's time for some action. What proof do you have that the third person was involved? Alright, I'll show you. I'm not completely sure of what I'm doing yet, but it looks like I'm out of time. Slam my desk. This piece of evidence proves the involvement of a third person. The note. I get it now. Now I see what this note bothered me so much when I first saw it. It looks like a note outlining the murder plot.
That note was apparently written by the victim.
But why do you feel the need to write instructions to himself like this? Your Honor, please take a look at this note. This is the victim's murder plan, right? It's definitely a murder plan, but what if Mr. Gloomsbury didn't write this note himself? What? You're a fool. This is how you intend to conjure up your mysterious third party, Mr. Wright? Can you even prove that that note wasn't written by the victim? Yes I can. Who's the fool now, Edgeworth? Very well then. Please present your evidence, Mr. Wright. This evidence proves the victim didn't write this note. This is the weapon Mr. Gloomsbury used to stab Mr. Sprocket. I was wondering what you'd pull out this time. Dare I ask what that could possibly have to do with the note? Mr. Gloomsbury's prints were found on this candelabra, and the prints were from his left hand. So that makes the victim left-handed, correct? Exactly, Your Honor. The police looked into it too and confirmed as much. Now, take a look at the smudge writing in this note. Notice how the smudging only starts from the middle of each preceding line. Had this been written by a lefty, the writing would be smudged from the far left end. That means that whoever wrote this note was definitely right-handed. In other words, somebody other than the victim wrote this note. What?
What if someone other than Mr. Gloomsbury wrote it? Then what does this note mean? Mr. Gloomsbury followed this note to the letter when he attacked Miss Watt. So clearly this note isn't a murder plan written by Mr. Gloomsbury, but rather, these are instructions to kill Miss Watt, issued by someone else. Objection! If it wasn't the victim who wrote these so-called instructions, then who wrote it? Most of the people involved are right-handed, you know. He is correct. The majority of the family and their employees who are on the airship are indeed right-handed. I must say, that is a very rough and slipshod conjecture you proposed. I admit I haven't figured out who wrote it just yet.
Leave it to Miss Redworth to go for the jugular.
This culprit ordered Gloomsbury to attack Ellen. What could their motive have been?
It doesn't seem very likely Ellen did anything to incur anybody's wrath, right?
Right. Not too likely anyways. In that case, it has to be about Soren.
If someone were to hold a grudge against Soren, what would it be about?
That accident, I guess. I can understand if Gloomsbury felt resentful about having to take the blame.
But the one who lost the most to that accident was Soren's sister. She lost her life after all. Soren suffered too, of course. He was crushed by losing someone so precious to him.
Somebody precious, huh? Oh my god, I'm so dumb. The fiancé! God doodly dang it, that took me like 7 years. I get it. Okay. So we don't even mention, I don't have a single page about that. Alright. Wait, there's one more person. There's someone else who must hold a grudge against Soren.
Did you figure something out?
I think so. I think this somebody else used Gloomsbury to try and get revenge against Soren. Did you say somebody tried to get revenge against Mr. Spock or Mr. Wright? The person who manipulated and used Mr. Gloomsbury was Selena's fiancé. Slam my desk. The person who used Mr. Gloomsbury to try and get revenge on Mr. Sprocket, and then finished Mr. Gloomsbury off to silence him, was a man dear to Mr. Sprocket's older sister, Selena Sprocket's fiancé. Not that I'm not positive, but it's certainly possible. This fiancé could have made Gloomsbury attack Ellen to get his revenge on Soren. What? Her fiancé? The power of love, am I right? Everybody be quiet! Be quiet! Order in this court! Order, I say! Yes, it does seem quite believable that Miss Selena Sprocket's fiancé would bear a grudge against Mr. Sprocket for his role in the accident. Exactly, Your Honor. Maybe her fiancé was trying to murder Miss Watts in order to make Mr. Sprocket experience the same pain he'd felt. Objection! Miss Sprocket's fiancé was a surgeon, if memory serves. The only people who attended the reception were family and staff members. Didn't he? There may be, but then that just means Miss Sprocket's fiancé must have been among those who attended.
What? Really?
Of course. Otherwise, how could he have killed Gloomsbury?
Oh, I see what you're doing. He's just another giant bluff, isn't it?
Alright, I'll bite. Who exactly do you claim this fiancé to be? Yes, I would like to know as well.
Are you sure you're gonna be okay, Nick?
Maybe. When it comes to suspicious people, there is only one person on my list. I need to find something that connects him to Selena. Alright. This will help us identify Miss Sprocket's fiancé. Oh, look at this photo! She has his thing. God dang it. Please take a look at this photo, Your Honor. That photo. It's the thing you're carrying. Notice Miss Sprocket's pocket watch. Haven't we seen it somewhere before? Yes, now that you mention, I do feel as if I've seen it somewhere before. I believe we've all seen it. Right here in this very courtroom. Impossible! That's right. The pocket watch in this photo is the same pocket watch Mr. Nickety has on him right now. Oh, snapperdoodles. What? Slam my desk. This is clearly proof of a strong connection between Pierce Nickety and Selena Sprocket. No. Well, Mr. Nickety, is this true? Mr. Nickety, you were once engaged to Selena Sprocket.
That pocket watch. You keep it as a memento of her, don't you? Slam my desk. Mr. Nickety, you plan to rob Mr. Sprocket of his loved one to make him feel the same pain as you, isn't that right? But Mr. Sprocket managed to fight back and knock Mr. Gloomsbury unconscious. He thought Mr. Gloomsbury was dead and hid his body in the lantern. But then you notice Mr. Gloomsbury regained consciousness. And so you finished him off to prevent your plan from being exposed. This is the defense's take on what really happened in this murder case. Mr. Wright, does this mean you wish to officially accuse the witness of the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury? Does the defense accuse Mr. Nickety of the murder? The defense indicts Pierce Nickety on the charge of murdering Dumas Gloomsbury. Oh my! Mr. Nickety, would you care to respond? Man, this lawyer just yaps on and on and on. As you guess, this watch is a memento of Selena. It stopped working at the time of the accident, though. Then, you really are? Like, is his demeanor gonna change? Yes, I was Selena's fiancé. And not just a fiancé, but the surgeon beside her deathbed. Objection! Mr. Nickety, why didn't you tell me any of this before? Shut it, you useless prosecutor. I thought you could be of use, but apparently this case was too much for you. What did you say? If your officer had stuck his nose all up in this, I could have swept it under the rug. Not only did you interfere with the case, but you even let me fall under suspicion. That's because you kept trying to cover things up on the sly. Ugh. But covering things up wasn't your only involvement. The only person who had a motive to use the victim to try and kill Miss Watt was you! Ugh. Oh! Explosion! How do you like that, boy? Oh! Oh! Evil eyes! Oh! The time has come. Oh! Oh, snapperdoodles. Real surgeon. Let's go with it. Malignant tumors. There are malignant tumors in this courtroom. Lesions oozing with false charges. Tumors are one idiotic lawyer and one useless prosecutor. After the truth is revealed, I'll have the both of you incised from the legal world. I'd like to see you try. I am the chief prosecutor. Do you know who I am? Watch the power of the Sprocket family be a cinch. I will now begin the operation.
What in the world happened to Mr. Nickety?
Looks like he's finally showing his true colors.
Nick, look what you did to that shoulder mech.
Ha 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 ha! Quit your yapping before I suture your chatty lips shut.
It's like he's a completely different person.
Sure looks like it, huh? We can't let our guards down now. Slam my desk! Mr. Nickety, it's finally time for you to testify to the truth! It seems we're entering the final act at last. Witness, your testimony, please. I didn't kill anybody, I'm not evil, I swear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Mr. Nickety, why didn't you say anything? Oh god. Ah! You just took a picture of me. Or something. You want me to voluntarily testify hoping I won't make a slip of the tongue? Not a very impressive plan. Or brain, I might add. Ow, that wasn't called for. If you want to know something, you ask the question. I will answer, but I have no intention of making any voluntary statements of my own.
What's he trying to do, Nick?
He's using the silent treatment as his strategy to avoid getting tripped up. Clever guy. No more lies, Mr. Nickety. You will tell us nothing but the truth from now on. Ugh! What do you think you're doing? Is the cravat on?
No one asked you to speak. Just keep quiet over there and play with your frills. How dare you! There should be a question, actually, but... Wow, this is a rather unconventional situation, but please proceed, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. How do I cross-examine silence? You didn't let me do this with Adrian Andrews when she wouldn't testify. What is this? If he won't speak voluntarily, then I guess I'll have to ask him something. What question should I ask? On the day of the incident, you were constantly surrounded by your subordinates. Is that right? Absolutely. I was in someone's line of sight at all times. After all, I was busy taking care of every detail of the event. Mr. Edgeworth, I believe your investigation backs up my claim. Huh. What statements I said groups of his subordinates worked with him in rotation, so he was always with someone. As the prosecutor just said, I couldn't even get close to the lantern containing Gloomsbury by myself, let alone kill him. Pierce didn't have a chance to get close to the victim alone, huh? Mr. Wright, you like that statement added to the witness's testimony? Sure. Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to have that statement added to his testimony. Very well. Mr. Nickety testifies that he was always with someone at the time of the incident and never had a moment alone to commit the crime. Yes, and the police investigation backs that statement up, doesn't it? But there was an opportunity, in fact, one and only one. A moment where Mr. Nickety could have killed Mr. Gloomsbury without anyone noticing. What? And the one thing that made that moment possible is shown here in this photograph. Hold it! With all those people watching, I couldn't possibly have committed the murder. I do not believe him, Your Honor. This lawyer is a malignant tumor. He wants to infect this judicial body with virulent accusations. Mr. Nickety, I would ask that you keep quiet this time. We need to evaluate the defense's claim, and your yammering only serves to throw further suspicion your way. Mr. Wright, let's see this one thing you mentioned. But be warned, slam my desk. This had better not be one of your offhanded claims. Who do you think you're talking to, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, Mr. Wright. Please point out for us the one thing that made the moment of the murder possible. Slam my desk. That one moment when it was possible for Mr. Nickety to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. The one thing that made that single moment possible is this. The smoke machine, I think, except... One thing that made the moment of the murder possible is this thick mood fog that engulfed the entire reception hall. It is under the cover of this fog that Mr. Nickety murdered the victim. What? Mr. Nickety was standing right next to the lantern Mr. Gloomsbury was in. This was the only moment the murder could have been committed without being seen. Objection! I can accept that there was a moment when the witness was obscured from others by fog. But that doesn't prove Mr. Nickety killed the victim in that very moment. If you can't prove the crime was committed during the reception, the trial ends here. Ugh! I was so caught up in finding a foothold that I forgot to think that far ahead. Well done, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time to call this trial's time of death. Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove the murder happened during the reception? Don't even bother! His claim is dead on arrival. Victory is within your grasp, prosecutor. Slam my desk. Quiet, witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation. Edgeworth. Enough of this! Your Honor, this trial is over! No, Mr. Nickety. That is for me to decide. Mr. Wright, can you prove it? Can you prove that the murder was committed during the wedding reception? Why is there no verdict yet? The lawyer's obviously out of answers! The prosecutor, the judge, they're all infected! The malignant stupidity is so advanced, not even the best surgeons can save them. In fact, not even a brain transplant could cure them. This court is infected with idiocy. It is a pandemic. Mr. Nickety, that's enough already. Finally ready to give up, are you? No, just the opposite, actually. I'll prove the murder was committed during the reception by you. Ah! You'll prove it. Can you really, Mr. Wright? Yes, I can, Your Honor. To be honest, I don't know exactly how I'll do it just yet. But if I want to get to the truth Edgeworth was talking about,
I just have to find that way. Very well, Mr. Wright. Let's have your proof. Enough of this foolishness! He's just bluffing! Stop him from speaking, Your Honor! I will do nothing of the sort! I'm just a district court judge with the power of the Sprocket family, Al. Enough of your foolishness, Mr. Nickety! The judicial body will not succumb to the influence of money or power. Slam my desk. Now then, let's hear it, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your truth. Think, Phoenix. Remember everything you've learned so far. You can do this. You can find the definitive evidence that will lead us to the truth. Oh, logic time! Think, Phoenix. How can I prove the murder took place during the wedding reception? If Pierce committed the murder during the reception, then he had to have used... He used the murder weapon, okay. Yes, the weapon that was used to strike the victim twice. According to the autopsy report, the victim was hit by the same object both times, so without a doubt, Pierce used it to commit this murder. The weapon used to kill Gloomsbury was the Timekeeper. The Timekeeper was the murder weapon. If Pierce struck the victim during that one single moment, then he must have used the Timekeeper. Come to think of it, wasn't also used for something else during the reception. During the reception, the Timekeeper was also used for the first startup of love. Is that what it was called? Yeah. Okay. Wait, what? The Timekeeper had been activated. That's right. The Timekeeper had been activated during the reception. If we activate the Timekeeper again now and find any trace evidence in the murder, that would be conclusive proof that Gloomsbury was killed during the reception. Wait, what? Wait, it records that? Wait, what? A special ceremony took place during the reception in question. What kind of a special ceremony? It was called the first startup of love. Apparently, the couple activated the Timekeeper for the first time during it. Does that mean the Timekeeper here in evidence isn't activated at the moment? And what would happen if we were to activate it? Why don't we see for ourselves? It would give us a chance to examine it. And while we're at it, we just might find some conclusive evidence. What? No, you can't activate it. Mr. Nickety, keep quiet or I'll have you thrown out of the court. By the way, Mr. Wright, this is supposed to be a time machine, right? We aren't going to travel back in time to the Stone Age or anything, are we? I don't think we have to worry too much about that, Your Honor. I'm still a little nervous nonetheless, but the truth must be known! Very well, go ahead and start off the Timekeeper. No!
So it's your first trial, huh, Phoenix?
No, not back here! Not defending! Hey, Nick! No!
Do you know how, Nick?
I think so. Maybe. Do. The name agreement had a similar love when they put them together. Oh, romantic it was! How romantic! Let's see, I think the symbol of the groom's love must be the Timekeeper itself. What symbol of the bride's love will fit together with the Timekeeper? Oh, I know! That has to be it! Mr. Wright, is it the only thing you haven't used in your evidence yet? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, your doodle. The symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the Timekeeper is this little key. Where is it? Okay. Miss Watt's pendant is the symbol of the bride's love that's necessary for activating the Timekeeper. What? Then does that mean you can start off with Miss Watt's pendant? I believe so, Your Honor. Very well. Please try it now, Mr. Wright. Okay, here I go. But first I have to figure out where the pendant goes. Right, doodle, there. This hole looks like a good spot. I'll try setting the pendant in here. It fits. This must be the right spot. Now I have to find a place to insert the key. This hole in the middle of the pendant. Could this be it? Oh my gosh. Oh, I see. It's like a wind-up thing. Oh my god. Oh, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. It worked! The timekeeper's been activated. Now all I have to do is find proof that the crime was committed during the Okay, really? How about the blood stain? I think I found it. Conclusive evidence that the murder was committed during the wedding reception. Just as I suspected, there's evidence of the murder inside the timekeeper, Mr. Nickety. The timekeeper was only activated and open during the wedding reception, right?
No! Stop!
Slam my desk. So that means there's conclusive proof that the crime was committed during the reception.
Ah!
Pursuit theme, boy! After you killed the victim under the cover of fog. You closed the timekeeper to hide the bloodstain, didn't you? Like a boss.
No, you're wrong. Ellen killed Gloomsbury. It wasn't me, I tell you.
Objection. Give it up, Mr. Nickety. How could the defendant, who was in the middle of pledging her love, have possibly committed the murder with everyone watching her?
It was the family. Yes, all the family members conspired together to kill him.
Slam my desk. There's no way you can talk your way out of this, Mr. Nickety. During the reception, during that one dreamlike moment, only one person could use the timekeeper to beat the victim to death. And that one person was you, Pierce Nickety. Oh, finger point of death. You know what that means? It's breakdown time. Oh.
No, this isn't over yet. I won't give up. Oh no, I cut the artery. This stupid thing. We must stop the bleeding now. Give me forceps. Forceps, I said. Hey, where is everyone? Fine, I'll manage this alone. I'll do it all by myself. I can fix anything, repair anything. So you have to get better. You have to live. You must. I would have been able to save her. If only I had listened to her. If only I had treated her first. If only that Soren hadn't been there. Oh! Selena. No.
Oh. That's messed up, but like, I do feel kind of bad for him. Witness, are you finally ready to tell us the truth?
It's just as the lawyer deduced.
So it was all a revenge scheme against Soren Sprocket.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to lose someone you love, right in front of you? Selena's condition was clearly more critical than Soren's, but in spite of that, she said,
Please help Soren.
Miss Sprocket's last words. So that's what she really meant by those words.
I was able to grant her wish, but at the price of a life.
So you got a job with Sprocket Aviation and waited for your chance to get revenge. You got close to Mr. Gloomsbury and hatched this plot, is that right?
Gloomsbury already bore a grudge against Soren. So when I tempted him with an even better position, he immediately took the bait. He was your accomplice, someone who shared the same goal as you. Why was it necessary for you to kill him? I didn't expect Soren to strike Gloomsbury out on the Vista deck. And I certainly never imagined he'd make his way there along the outside wall.
Soren's love is the real deal after all.
My plan had been compromised, so for the time being, I hid his body in the lantern and tried to think of my next move.
And then Mr. Gloomsbury came to during the second wedding reception.
As soon as I saw Gloomsbury, I instantly hit upon an idea. To pin the blame on Gloomsbury's murder. To pin the blame of Gloomsbury's murder on Ellen. He tried to break up the couple by making the bride out to be a murderer. How despicable. Soren was getting the company and a wedding. Both things that were supposed to be Selena's. He took every happiness from her. Who's the despicable one here? Huh. Do you think what you did would make her happy? I know it wouldn't. But I couldn't just stand by, watching Soren enjoy his happiness. I was going to have Soren taste the same pain I had, and then take over Sprocket Aviation. I would take back from him all the happiness that was rightfully Selena's.
He's not happy, though.
Time stopped for me the day I lost her. Just like this pocket watch of hers.
Pierce.
Miss what?
At least Selena would have said, leave this ill will behind. Your time is yours to live.
It's too late for me. Time will never advance for me, ever again. What? It can't be. I see now, Selena. What I did was wrong. I see no further need to continue this trial. Bailiff, please take Mr. Nickety away. Pierce Nickety, another inconsolable time traveler, who lived in time that stood still.
Well, that was a bittersweet ending. Now then, I must render my verdict regarding the defendant. Huh?
Your Honor, before you give your ruling, would you please allow me a moment? I was going to propose.
Very well.
Ellen, there's something I need to say to you.
Yes, Soren?
I put you through something truly horrible. This whole thing happened, all because of me. I would understand if you wanted to call off our marriage.
What? Oh, sad face again.
Oh god, no, don't get the frying pan. God damn.
Of course not, I never once thought that.
If you stay with me, you'll only face even more trying times in the future.
What do you mean?
The truth of this incident and the car accident before it. I'm going to tell the public everything. I expect the company's reputation will suffer, and I'll take a lot of criticism. But I feel I can only really start over once I get everything out in the open.
Soren.
After all that's happened, I might not have the right to ask you this, but, well, how should I say this? Maybe I'll just...
Oh, I was gonna do a little paper airplane. No. Close the book. Yeah! Yeah! Soren!
A life with me probably won't be very easy, but...
Come on, say it.
Will you marry me?
Yay! Soren, I like you now!
Yes, of course.
Aw, happy sad face.
Your Honor, thank you for this time. Please continue with your ruling.
Very well, but first, I have one question. Do the two of you pledge your eternal love for each other to the goddess of justice, Themis?
I do, Your Honor.
I do.
Does the prosecution or the defense have any objections?
Well done, Your Honor. No objections here.
The defense has no objections either, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Ellen Watt. Ah, that's not right. This court finds the defendant, Ellen Sprocket. Not guilty.
Woo! Oh yeah! Another successful case in Phoenix's book. What's that? That's like 18 cases now, Edgeworth. What do you think about that, Buzzoy?
And I'm forever unchanged. This court is adjourned. Everybody get out!
Okay, chill, God. Stop freaking out at me, Judge.
September 23rd, 11:36 a.m. District Court. Defendant, lobby number 3.
Ellen, Soren, congratulations.
Mr. Wright, I can't thank you enough. You can't expose the truth. Soren and I wouldn't... We wouldn't...
But now you can finally start your new life together, right?
Oh, thank you!
Mr. Wright, we'll be holding our real wedding ceremony in the near future. Would you do us the honor of coming to it? I want you to witness our fresh start.
Of course! I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Ellen, this time, it'll finally be happily ever after, right?
Oh, yes.
The two of you have persevered and overcome the trial together.
Now, no matter what obstacles may come your way, I'm sure you'll be able to handle them. And there's another thing I'm sure of too. This person will always be watching over the two of you. Oh, the sister. Hold on.
Selena, yes, I think you're right. We promised to live life to the fullest, for Selena's sakes too. Right, Soren?
That's right. Well, we better be on our way.
Yes, my love.
Aww.
Wow, the old threshold carry, huh? Way to show off.
We'll be seeing you. Goodbye for now.
I'll be looking forward to that wedding.
Hold on tight, Ellen.
You better believe I will. I'm never letting you go.
Oh my And there they go.
You're not thinking of going to that wedding by yourself, are you, boss?
Athena? Oh no.
You're taking us too, right? Oh boy, I bet there's gonna be all kinds of fancy food there.
Athena, when did you get here?
Just now. I would have been here to cheer you guys on earlier, but she should never gave me a chance to slip away.
You're gonna be in even bigger trouble with her later. Speaking of the wedding, maybe I should ask them to invite Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, really? But he thought Ellen was guilty all the way to the end.
That may be true, but he just wanted to find the truth.
Don't even bother. His claim is dead on arrival. Victory is within your grasp, prosecutor. Slam my desk. Did you not play my 2 games? I do not care about victory. I don't even care about this badge. Here, you want this badge? Take it. Just throws it at him. I care about the truth. That's stupid. That's not your job. You shouldn't be worried about that.
If he hadn't stood up for us when he did, the trial probably would have ended there.
You mean Mr. Edgeworth gave us that chance?
Maybe. Though knowing him, I doubt he'd ever tell, even if I asked.
Well, if that's how you feel about it, Nick, then why not try to get him invited? Hey, Maya, have you ever tried to catch the bouquet? What? No. I never have either. Fighting over a bouquet that's been tossed by the bride. Talk about a fierce competition. I'm totally stoked. I'm not sure it's really supposed to be all that competitive. I'm a pretty good jumper, so I think I had a chance.
She's definitely missing the point of the whole thing. Oh no, here comes Trucy. And Larry, how did you manage to stay so quiet for so long?
Shut up! Wishing a lady fell in love with every happiness is what a real man does.
I'm pretty sure that relationship was over before it even began, Larry.
Darn it all. If only I was 10 years younger, things would have gone differently. Hands of time, why would you turn back for me?
Oh, Larry, I hate you so much. Oh, please never come back. You were just insufferable this case. I'm usually pretty okay with you, honestly, but I don't know. In this case, you were just annoying. Today is Ellen and Soren's 3rd wedding ceremony and reception. Oh yeah, I heard the bride and groom insisted on being the flying chapel again. In the end, they were nice enough to invite me and Maya, and Athena kind of invited herself. They also invited Edgeworth, Emma, and even Larry. They say 3rd time's the charm, right? I really do hope it's happily ever after for them this time around. Still, I get the feeling it's gonna be one rowdy party. There's no one there.
We kind of forgot to invite everybody else. Our bad.
Oh well.
Ready?
Oh my god. It's like,
Okay. Here we go.
oh, she is totally British. I should have done that the entire time. My bad.
Huh? Oh,
No, god dang it, Larry.
Oh, hey! Look who's next!
No!
Huh?
Edward's like, I'm warning you. Oh, this is the best case ever. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, that ending was amazing. Oh my god. Oh my god, that ending was so good. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, this case. Oh, I feel this fan service rising within me. I love this game.
Oh, and with that, we have finished my Ace Attorney journey until Ace Attorney 7 and Great Ace Attorney. And I'll probably play the second game, I don't know, whenever they finish the fan translation of that. But I know the first game is close to being done, so we'll be doing that hopefully sometime this year. I guess it depends on when they get their translations done. There's a couple games I do want to do before I jump into another Ace Attorney game. Well, at least one, and depending on how long that one turns out to be, then I guess we'll go from there. But yeah, let's talk about this case. Let's talk about the DLC case. It's kind of disconnect from the story overall. Okay, so the murder itself and the entire really case itself is kind of boring. There's nothing really surprising about it. Like, there's some like, oh, that's kind of cool. But what made this case is the interaction between characters. I don't know what happened. They must have pulled like all of their best character writers for this, because they nailed everybody. Like Phoenix with Edgeworth and Larry and Maya. The chemistry was just like, holy crap, where was this the past couple games? Like, holy crap. And even that just scene at the end there, that was so good, and it felt so good to be like, aww. You know? And if the case did not have those, I would not like this case, because it's a pretty mundane, boring case once you get past the time travel thing. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's a bit too basic for this series, I almost feel like. But the character interactions make it so worth it that I still really like this case. But mind you, I do not like this nearly as much as I like the DLC case in Dual Destiny. That case was only second to the final case of Dual Destinies, which I love. I don't care what anyone says. I love that case. Fulbright is a good villain. Don't at me. Even though we know nothing about him. They were gonna find out my identity. Oh no, that's bad because I do stuff. We're not gonna say what that stuff is, but I do illegal stuff. I think. Or did I do illegal stuff before that? Was I like stealing information? I don't know. They never tell us. But let's get into the overall theme of the game and like what I thought of it. So I really enjoyed this game overall. Let's go episode by episode. So episode 1, the foreign turnabout. I enjoyed this episode, you know, I didn't love it, I didn't really like the culprit. I thought his shtick got really old pretty fast, which kind of a common gripe with this game in general for me is, sometimes the whole like, oh, here's their crazy factor was a bit too like, okay, next, you know, like, it felt a bit dry compared to some of the stuff. Also, wow, you guys corrected me. I bulk recorded the first case because I really wanted to play this game. Peace, Love, and Understanding was his name, but Peace, Lubin, and Distant, you know? That sounds close enough. Peace, Love, and Peace, Love, and Understanding. So, I didn't get that one. My bad, but I feel like that was one of the harder Kurain ones. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed the first case, and I was excited for what it was setting up. The second case, that was some good stuff. I loved the second case. It is one of the contenders for my favorite case in this game. I think the final case probably takes the cake for me, but this case is really good. I really like the villain. I really like Apollo and Trucy's interactions. I really like everything about this case. Did they retcon Trucy's eye color? Didn't it used to be brown? It's blue now. Is she wearing contacts? I don't really know. But yeah, overall, Chapter 2, really good, super high stakes. I loved it. I loved it. Chapter 3, Wright of Turnabout. So a lot of people are really crazy about this case, and I really don't like to be a wet blanket, but I didn't think it was that great. In fact, this one took me the longest to finish because I wasn't super into it. It's like, yeah, the suicide twist got me, and that was like, oh, so cool, but like, I don't know, the case didn't really grab my attention. I thought Maya acted kind of weird. She wasn't the same, and I don't know, it wasn't bad by any means. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying like this case was the worst. It's like Turnabout Big Top bad. No, I'm just saying like I don't think this case was as amazing to some people as it was to was amazing to me as it was to some people, is what I meant to say. Kind of like case 3 of Dual Destinies, where everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for you to play this Athena case, and I played it, I'm like, I figured out the killer within the first 5 minutes. But like, no, I'm not gonna try and take credit for that entirely, because I did jump around a bit, but that was only because, I don't know, it felt needlessly convoluted to me, the third case, and I didn't like any of the characters. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like Means. I thought he was a crappy villain in the end. His motive was explained in passing. In passing. I'm sorry, one of the biggest factors to a murder? And you say it after he's been arrested? Okay. You know, whatever. Anyways, sorry. Let me get back to this. I thought Believe was cool. I guess people are just okay that she committed a murder. Like, I mean, I guess it was justified self-defense, so I can let it slide, actually. I take it back. Dad's a rebel. Anonymous TBD. I like how Nayuta was like, no, that wasn't actually your name. I was saying I didn't know who you... Okay, you know what? Okay, fine, Mr. or Miss. Whatever. I don't care. You're stupid anyways. This is my Nayuta voice. I don't know what I was doing there. Sorry, it sounded a bit like Edgeworth. My bad. But, yeah. Case 3, it was alright, you know? I probably liked it a bit more in Case 1, not nearly as much as Case 2. Ugh, Case 4. Ugh. If Black Quill wasn't in this case, it would plummet. It would just like, wow, this case, I mean, I don't know, it's just not good. I'm not gonna defend it in any way. It's boring, it's convoluted, it's needlessly fillery. Like, they don't explain why Nayuta is there at all. I don't know. The culprit's motive is stupid as all crap, and Case 4 sucks. I'm gonna be legit. Case 4 might be my least favorite case in the entire Ace Attorney series, because aside from Blackwell, there is no likable factors in it. So I'm sorry, but Case 4, not doing it for me. Case 5. Love this case. I love this case. This is easily in my top 5, might even be top 3 cases of all Ace Attorney. It is so good. I know some people are like, it ruined Phoenix's character arc in Justice for All, but it's like, but did it? Like, after Justice for All, would Phoenix have sacrificed Maya the moment he could? No. He was trying to find a way to get Maya saved without actually getting this guy what he wanted. So the entire time during that trial, he was trying to figure out what to do, but he couldn't. He couldn't think of anything, and that's why he freaked out. He realized, oh my god, my only way out of this is to blame an innocent person. And then Apollo did it for him. And like, he's not regressing in character. He was just trying to save Maya. He wasn't gonna kill Maya over a civil trial, for the love of God. Like, come on. I don't know. I disagree with the people who say it reverted his character development, because I honestly don't think it did. He decided that the truth was more important above all, which is why he was no longer raising any objections near the end there. And that just goes with his character, don't you think? But the second half of this case hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm still sad about Dirk. Like, I still think about, like, Dirk, no. And then I also think about, what character did I wrongly accuse in this chapter? Oh, Albie. You're definitely the killer. Actually, I think I dropped that theory pretty fast. But I was like, no, the diamond, dude. I was so confident about that stupid diamond. And it was like, why? I got Naina right, though. I thought Naina was pretty obvious. And I got Rafa. The only thing confused me is, why did Inga have a picture of her? I'm still kind of confused about that. I thought they were gonna say, like, Inga had a baby with, what's her face? Amara? Amara. Yeah, that's her name. And that's why you had the picture of her? I don't know. But overall, Chapter 5, easily my favorite case in this game. I loved it. Loved it. And, yeah, so overall, I did really enjoy this game. It had some highs. It had some lows, but its lows were not nearly as bad as some of the other lows I played in this series. I'm talking to you, Apollo Justice. And I think I'm ready to say where this places on my countdown. So, I have now played all 8 Ace Attorney games that are translated. Great Ace Attorney, at the moment of recording this, is not fully translated yet, so I can't speak on that. But, based on the 8 games that I have played so far, the list goes Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney at number 8, because I think the first 3 cases are pretty weak, and 4 and 5 are really good. Next up, we have Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. I kind of stated this before, but had some really good highs and some really bad lows. Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. This had a lot of good setting up for the future, but overall a pretty forgettable story. At number... Oh, I can't count. Wait. Wait, A7... At number 5, okay, sorry, I'm having a stroke. We have Phoenix Wright Justice for All. This game had 2 good cases and 2 bad cases, so it all depends on how much you value one over the other, right? At number 4, we have Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. I really enjoyed Dual Destinies, but at number 3 we have Spirit of Justice because I think it improved upon everything I didn't like about Dual Destinies. I think it introduced a bunch of new characters I enjoyed, and I think overall I really liked it. I think there are some aspects of it that are weaker than Dual Destinies, but I think overall it has more strong points than Dual Destinies. And then the remaining 2 have remained unchanged. Trials and Tribulations and Investigations 2. Investigations 2 will probably never ever leave the throne because that game affected me in a way that like very few games have. Danganronpa V3 is up there. Oh god. Undertale. I don't know. I can't think of a whole lot of stuff right now. It's hard. But that wraps up my playthrough of the Ace Attorney series and this game and everything. And that makes me a little bit sad, you know? I don't want to be done, but like I am done. So until we meet again, guys, I have loved the crap out of this series. I think I can officially say now I like it more than Danganronpa and Zero Escape. It is that good. It has made me realize I have an interest in actual law, so that's a big bonus. Obviously, this law is a bit extreme, and I've done a lot of research and asked a lot of people. It's good to have connections. But yeah, this game not only helped me like just in a good, friendly playing way, it also kind of helped me shape like what I think I want my career to be. So that helps. I don't know what else to say. I love this game. I love this series. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, because I sure as heck have. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up this series here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for supporting me through all these games. It's been absolutely great. I've loved doing these. I can't wait till the next game comes out, if it ever comes out. And I can't wait to play Great Ace Attorney when that gets translated. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Peace out.